Welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because we are taking a real deep dive into the world of blueberries. You literally hear it everywhere, right? People call them brain food, memory boosters, nature's multivitamin, and the ultimate antioxidant powerhouse. But in an era where wellness marketing can kind of stretch the truth, we really need to ask, what's the actual reality here? Today, we're going to look strictly at the grounded science. We'll break down exactly how these tiny fruits interact with your brain and your body, how they compare to other options, and why they've earned such a profound level of respect in the world of nutrition research. So get ready to take some mental notes, and let's jump in. So let's just get right to it and address the wellness hype directly. Are these tiny fruits actually the miracle cure that social media claims they are? It's so easy to scroll through your feed and see influencers promoting the latest exotic, incredibly expensive powder or supplement, and suddenly, the humble blueberry is being marketed right alongside them like a magical brain pill. Though, thankfully, the blueberry tastes a whole lot better than most of those dirt-flavored powders. Now, I want to be perfectly clear right out of the gate. Eating a bowl of blueberries is not going to suddenly turn you into a superhuman genius. They aren't magic. But, as we're going to see throughout this explainer, what they actually do inside your body is arguably more impressive than the exaggerated myths. They provide a massive amount of nutrition relative to their very low calorie content. To really understand their true benefits, we first have to talk about anthocyanins. These are the crucial compounds responsible for both the berry's color and its heavy-hitting health properties. When you look at a blueberry, that vibrant, deep blue-purple hue isn't just for show. It's actually a visual indicator of its nutritional power. Anthocyanins are a specific type of plant compound, and they are the undisputed superstar of the blueberry's chemical makeup. Over the last 2 decades, these specific compounds have turned blueberries into one of the most heavily studied fruits in all of nutrition science. Researchers have been rigorously testing how these anthocyanins interact with our biology, looking really closely at memory, focus, inflammation, and aging. But to grasp why anthocyanins are so incredibly vital, we need to understand the invisible battle that's happening inside your body right now. And that brings us to oxidative stress. Basically, antioxidants act as a shield against oxidative stress, which is the daily cellular wear and tear our bodies constantly endure. Think of oxidative stress kind of like rust slowly forming on a car. Your body, and especially your brain, is constantly exposed to environmental aggressors and internal stressors. We're talking about the natural process of aging for sure, but also modern lifestyle factors, chronic poor sleep, the high stress of our daily jobs, heavily processed foods, systemic inflammation, the whole shebang. All of this creates free radicals, which are these unstable molecules that damage your cells over time. This is exactly where the blueberry steps in. The massive load of antioxidants, especially those anthocyanins we just talked about, act as a dedicated defense force. They neutralize these free radicals, actively combating that cellular wear and tear. Section 1. Fueling the brain. Let's look at memory, focus, and aging. This is the part that usually gets people absolutely fired up. Whether you're a busy student, an entrepreneur, a professional trying to stay sharp at work, or simply someone wanting to maintain mental clarity as the years go by, your brain is a high-performance engine, and it takes a ton of energy to run it, which produces a massive amount of oxidative stress. When you consume blueberries regularly, those antioxidants combat the specific oxidative stress that compromises your brain cells. But it actually goes way beyond just defense. Studies suggest that these compounds enhance the efficiency and strength of the signals between your neurons. Imagine upgrading the wiring in your house so the electricity flows smoother and faster. That better communication among brain cells is absolutely crucial for retaining memory and sharpening your concentration. Plus, some research even suggests that eating blueberries can yield short-term cognitive benefits, specifically related to attention and focus. By offering this holistic brain care, they're an incredibly powerful tool to protect against the age-induced cognitive decline that so many of us worry about. Moving on to Section 2, Heart and Body. Let's explore the benefits well beyond the brain. So, your brain requires a massive, constant supply of oxygen and nutrients to perform all those high-level cognitive tasks, right? And that fuel gets there through your blood. This means that brain health and heart health are intimately, inextricably connected. You literally cannot have one operating at peak performance without the other. Well, those same anthocyanins protecting your brain are also working wonders in your circulatory system. They've been shown to help reduce blood pressure by actively dilating your blood vessels, which makes it much easier for blood to flow freely. Beyond that, they play a very active role in cholesterol regulation. They actually help ensure that the bad cholesterol doesn't oxidize and adhere to your arterial walls. When you prevent that buildup, you're directly improving arterial health and staving off heart-related issues. Studies consistently show that a diet rich in blueberries leads to measurable real-world improvements in cardiovascular function. And this incredible nutritional profile highlights exactly why blueberries are so often called nature's multivitamin. For anyone dealing with insulin resistance, which is a major precursor to type 2 diabetes, blueberry extracts have been shown to boost insulin sensitivity. This means your body can efficiently utilize insulin to transport glucose into cells, preventing those awful, harmful blood sugar spikes. On top of that, they are just loaded with dietary fiber, which supports digestion and keeps you full, providing sustained energy rather than a quick sugar crash. But let's look at the minerals for a second. Calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus serve as the literal building blocks of your bones, while magnesium and zinc facilitate bone mineralization. As we age and worry about things like osteoporosis, this is vital. And finally, for the fitness enthusiasts out there, vitamins K and C in blueberries support muscle growth, collagen production, and tissue repair. They literally help reduce the oxidative stress caused by a heavy workout. Section 3, Protection and Immunity. Here is how the blueberry defends the body. We've talked about fueling the brain and supporting the heart and muscles, but what about actively defending the body from invaders and systemic issues? The compounds packed into a blueberry initiate a multi-pronged defense strategy that is truly remarkable when you look at the clinical data. First, on a cellular level, vitamin C and E neutralize environmental aggressors that lead to premature skin aging and wrinkles. Moving deeper, the bioactive compounds in blueberries have actually demonstrated a capacity to halt cancer cell proliferation by reducing oxidative stress and curbing inflammation, targeting various stages of tumor development. Then, there's mental health. The flavonoids in blueberries are incredible because they possess the unique ability to actually cross the blood-brain barrier. By doing so, they influence mood-related biochemical pathways and reduce brain inflammation, often linked to depressive disorders. And if that wasn't enough, they contain specific anti-adhesive properties that physically prevent harmful bacteria from latching onto the walls of the urinary tract, allowing those invaders to be naturally flushed out. Every single serving equips your body with a supercharged defense against pathogens. Section 4, the great debate, fresh versus frozen. Okay, so at this point, you might be wondering how to realistically fit these into your daily life. Fresh blueberries are great, but they can be highly perishable, and depending on the season, they can become incredibly expensive, and honestly, sometimes hard to find in good condition. But here is one of the biggest misconceptions we absolutely need to clear up right now. Frozen blueberries are nutritionally identical to fresh ones. People often think that freezing fruit destroys the nutrients, right? But the reality is that frozen blueberries are flash frozen almost immediately after harvesting. This rapid freezing process essentially hits the pause button on the berry, perfectly locking in all of those anthocyanins, vitamins, and minerals. This means you can buy massive bags of frozen blueberries, keep them in your freezer for months, reduce your food waste, and save a significant amount of money while still reaping exactly the same cognitive and physical benefits. It's a real game changer. Section 5. The realistic verdict. It is time to escape the wellness hype. The modern wellness industry has this terrible habit of taking a genuinely good food and turning it into an unrealistic superhero, promising that it will miraculously fix all your life's problems. But this quote perfectly captures the reality. You cannot out-blueberry chronic sleep deprivation. Blueberries are incredibly supportive, yes, but they absolutely cannot act as a magic pill to fix high stress, poor sleep, or a terrible diet. You could literally eat a pound of the most pristine, organic blueberries every single day. But if you're only sleeping 4 hours a night, living in a constant state of high anxiety, never exercising, and eating mostly ultra-processed foods, the blueberries are not going to save you. Real brain health and cardiovascular health depend on the whole picture: movement, hydration, stress management, and sleep. Blueberries are supportive, not transformative, all on their own. And honestly, knowing their real place in a balanced diet makes them even more impressive, because you don't have to rely on them to do the impossible. Unlike so many expensive powders or supplements, they check every single box for a sustainable, healthy habit because they require zero effort to prepare. Think about it. How many wellness trends require you to order expensive monthly subscriptions, mix clumpy dirt-flavored powders, or spend an hour meal prepping? Blueberries require absolutely no cooking, no chopping, and almost zero effort. They're minimally processed, widely available in almost every grocery store, and incredibly affordable, especially when you utilize that frozen option we talked about. This is exactly why nutrition experts respect them so much. Healthy eating only actually works if you can maintain it long-term. And because they're so accessible, they are one of the absolute easiest healthy habits a busy person can adopt. Simple consistency always beats perfection. Getting these profound benefits is incredibly straightforward. Just toss them in your morning oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or eat a handful as a quick snack. You do not need a complicated 20-ingredient recipe to make this work. The flexibility is what makes this so sustainable for real life. If you're having a rushed morning, throwing a handful of frozen blueberries into a blender with some protein powder takes maybe 30 seconds. If you're sitting down for breakfast, stirring them into Greek yogurt adds incredible flavor, texture, and a massive hit of fiber and antioxidants. And let's not overlook the absolute easiest option, just grabbing a handful straight from the fridge. Sure, you might occasionally get a tiny piece of blueberry skin stuck in your teeth, but compared to heavily processed sugary snacks, popping a few fresh berries is an incredibly smart option for sustained energy without the terrible blood sugar crash. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself a question. Instead of chasing the next complicated, expensive wellness trend, are you ready to embrace the proven, simple power of the blueberry? We've seen the science. We know that these little berries can support your memory, dial down oxidative stress, protect your heart, help manage blood sugar, and even defend against cellular aging. They are one of the very few foods that actually deserve the title of superfood, not because they're magical, but because consistent, whole foods with real nutritional value actually work over time. It's really time to let go of the idea that getting healthy has to be complicated or ridiculously expensive. Sometimes the absolute smartest nutrition choices are also the simplest ones. So I'll leave you with this thought. What other boring whole foods are sitting in your kitchen right now, secretly packing more scientific power than a $100 wellness supplement? Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep eating well, and I will see you in the next explainer.